fans, thanks for clicking the Reddit Rose report. Hey, PW Torch reports that head writer Jay Gibson, he's been released from the company. His release was made by Vince McMahon on Friday, though. Just one day after the WWE released about 11 talents. And it's previously reported by PWI that there were no office cuts last week. And this is the first creative release that we know of. But anyway, last night's Raw was the first show with WWE TV without Gibson, doing the writing. This led to a show that had familiar segments that are a favorite of Vince McMahon's, especially belittling people, things like that, including the segment with Stephanie McMahon and Vickie Guerrero. Vince reportedly looking at reducing payroll and is not, is spearheading the change to go back to the budget cuts that was reported on, but noted that firing Jay Gibson, though, last week, may have been other creative related releases as well going on, but word is that there's no cuts that was made by WWE in the last 7 days, really that hasn't been released yet. There could have been, but they just haven't said anything yet. And I got a feeling we're going to see a lot less pyro now. I've been noticing kind of at the first of every show, it's been kind of dead. But that's one place they've done that before, cut back on pyro. It probably is expensive. And there's talk about keeping Hornswoggle off of TV until it's time for him to promote the WWE studio release of Leprechaun Origins. The movie comes out later this year. And to let that cranium grow some straw back on it. Boy, his head is, gosh. I think mine's big. Dark segment after last night's Raw in Cleveland saw Dean Ambrose recover and hit dirty deeds on Seth Rollins. After a handful of chair shots, by the way. John Cena poked fun at Rollins and put him back down with the attitude adjustment before Reigns speared him to end the show, sent everybody home happy except one guy laying there. And former WWE diva Lisa Marie Varon, or Victoria, whatever you want to call her, Spider Lady, noted on Twitter that her that camera crews have been filming at her Circle Square restaurant up in Chicago, including during last night's airing of Raw. It looks like they could be filming some sort of a reality show, as Varon posted photos of what looked like interviews with her staff. She said had a great time filming at the Circle Square. A lot of amazing things in the near future. Dusty Rhodes tweeted about how Cody Rhodes' new Stardust character. Dusty said he reportedly was inspired by the old nickname that Dusty had used quite a while ago. He says no one on the roster has his overall talent. Everything he does is like watching a movie. Hopefully not in slow motion. Alright, this year's WWE SummerSlam AXXESS events will not be held in Los Angeles with the pay-per-view this year. It's the decision not to hold AXXESS was reportedly made back in January, though. Not according to the budget cuts. Nothing to do with that. AXXESS reportedly never was even listed on WWE's internal calendar for 2014. And it was noted a few months back. I remember I told you Vickie Guerrero was going to be leaving WWE to pursue other non-wrestling opportunities. Obviously, she hadn't left yet. But word coming out of Raw is that the current angle between her and the Authority is going to be leading to her WWE departure probably within the next few weeks. Vickie was originally going to leave around WrestleMania time, but agreed to stay a little longer. She had to help him out and carry the WWE herself. Cody Rhodes was trending last night after Twitter, debuting with a Stardust character, and of course with Goldust. Cody has since changed his Twitter nickname to the Avatar for his new gimmick. Cody tweeted following Raw, he says, it was always written in the stars. But anyway, Cody did need some new change or something. He was getting kind of stale, so I don't know if he needed that, but one of these days we'll see the two yellow people wrestling together in the ring and against each other. Hey, Jim Ross tweeted about Cody's character. He says, see how easy it is for folks to talk about a tag team wrestling? WWE stock, by the way, jumped, oh man, 0.34 cents per share on Monday. It had been attributed to WWE releases that were announced earlier in the week. And it's noted that WWE is planning more developmental cuts next week. WWE could see this as a positive sign. Developmental, bet they're nervous. WWE issued a survey this week on potential future DVD compilations on stars including Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, JBL. They also listed greatest matches DVD for Rick Rude. And the survey also asked feedback about a possible roast DVD on Ric Flair, John Cena, Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, and Chris Jericho. The roast for John Cena probably wouldn't be a roast, it'd be just everybody telling the truth. Other potential DVDs titles include Volume 3 of the very best of WCW Nitro, Best of US title, a documentary on Ultimate Warrior, and Volume 3 of ECW Unreleased. And tonight's main event and SmackDown taping is going to be taking place at Nationwide Center, Columbus, Ohio. I think announced so far is Usos and Sheamus taking on the Wyatt family. Roman Reigns taking on Alberto Del Rio is scheduled for SmackDown. Advertised locally is going to be Reigns, Ambrose, and Cena taking on Orton's, Rollins, and Wyatt. Other stars advertised are Kane and Dolph Ziggler. And don't know what they're doing, but they're going to be there. I would suspect they're going to wrestle. There were many rumors at 3MB. Vince has got to love that name or something. They may get a new permanent member. We may see auditions for the band. The bands always have to have auditions, and you can't. Anyway, Jerry Lawler acknowledged on last night's Raw that Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal are no longer in the group, and Hornswoggle later wrote the following. He says, "After a great showing from Heath Slater's whatever, I really think it's time to search WWE for some new backup." 2K Sports filming a commercial for Sting's inclusion in WWE 2K15 video game in Los Angeles this week, and 2K reportedly filmed motion capture for all of Sting's signature moves several months back. And on a related note, there's been talk in WWE for inducting Sting into the Hall of Fame next year, since it's going to be in his home state, California. And it's reportedly earlier this week that WWE is looking to trim about $20 million from their budget this year. Which, is any of that going to come out of anybody's pocket like a McMahon? I wonder. Apparently, probably not. But apparently, production will see a number of cuts in various places. Example, WWE has reportedly nixed Fandango's curtain entrance and stopped using Bad News Barrett's podium. Well, you know how expensive that is. And it was said that the truck WWE used to transport those items and other items were taken off the road, saving around $250,000 a year. That's a major gas mileage, huh? Rant Sports noted that WWE is using similar stage setups for Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-views, and ring ropes in all the shows are now white. You notice that? Some pyro for wrestlers' entrances may be cut back. I mentioned that. And happy birthday to former WWF, WCW manager Clarence Mason, J. Biggs, maybe, 49 years old. And in 2005, AWA announcer Ron Trungard died of liver cancer at the age of 72. Thanks for clicking, you guys. I gotta go.